So, um, I wanted to talk about what I wanted to talk about um 2K and kind of a long-standing beef I've had with them, and it kind of got sparked up by that alpha trailer that 2K put out during the PlayStation 5 reveal. Um, and it's not about the trailer itself. The trailer is it's an alpha trailer, whatever. I don't care. The issue that I have is kind of what I'm expecting from 2K, and that comes from what I saw in the trailer. So I don't know if that makes sense, but it's not about the trailer itself. Um, I feel like I feel like we're gonna get another year of the same, um, and I really hope not. And if we do, it's not like it can be changed now, but I really hope taking the rim off of the hoop isn't a focal point of 2K because it's nobody needs it. I don't know if anybody wants it, but nobody needs it. I can tell you that now. Nobody that I know cares about taking the hoop off the rim. Nobody or taking the rim off the hoop, whatever. Um, yeah, I feel like that's secondary along with the dances, along with the skateboards, along with the jetpacks, along with people coming in on that loud ass helicopter. I, I don't know who asked for that, and I understand that you have to have fun stuff for the more casual players. I get that. I'm not saying don't have a fun game. I'm not saying don't keep it fresh. I'm not saying take out events. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that I think all of that is secondary to gameplay. Because at the end of the day, you're not playing the game. You're not playing 2K to go on a scavenger hunt. You're not playing 2K to watch people come in on helicopters. You're not playing 2K to watch people dance when they win the game. You're playing 2K to play a basketball simulator, and the basketball needs to be better. One of the biggest issues that I have with it is the lack of animations for gameplay. Gameplay animations. You need more gameplay animations. There aren't enough there aren't any slip animations for defenders on the same team, which is ridiculous. If you have two people playing defense and their assignments are crossing, right? And they would bump into each other. I understand that sometimes if you're not looking, you can bump into your teammate. I get that. That does not mean that there should not be any animation. There shouldn't be any slip animation. If I know that I'm running towards somebody on my team, I'm going to get out of their way so I don't stop them from defending their man. And yeah, okay, you can switch. Okay, cool. But if a center and a point guard are crossing, why would I switch if I can just get out of the point guard's way so he can defend his man and we don't create a mismatch without them doing anything to create a mismatch? I know crosses are for that, but whatever. We need slip animations. We need animations. We need contact animations for defense, not just contact dunks, not just bumping into each other in the paint. I need contact when somebody is going up for certain layups. Just because you're going for a layup and I'm standing there, that doesn't like if I run into you, I'm gonna run into you. I'm not gonna you're not just gonna slide across the ground with no you're not just going to slide across the ground. It doesn't happen. It's not a real thing. We need contact animations. We need more animations for interactions on the floor. Um, it's a big issue. It's a really big issue because there's so many defensive stops that we as in me and my friends and just people don't get because there are no animations. And I understand it is resource. I get that, but at some point, it's you've never done it. You have so many dances. You have so many skateboard animations. You had jetpacks. You have a helicopter that drops people into the. You have dodgeball. You have different seasons in the park. You. I wasn't paying that much attention to swags, but if y'all really like broke the glass in swags, because there are protests going on. Like that, come on, fix the game, bro. Like, maybe I'm in the minority here, but I think it's a big issue. So that's the first thing. I don't know if I said there's two things, but that's the first thing. Is gameplay animations we need fixes for, and then or not fixes, but we need more animations. There's other stuff with gameplay, but that's my biggest issue. The other thing is the lack of variety that we see, like in the park and in pro am and things like that. Because there's so many archetypes that you can have that we just don't see. Like I don't think I see 90% of the archetypes that you can have in 2K. I don't think I see 90% of them in the park, and that's because there's no point in bringing them, which is partially because of gameplay, but people just don't bring them because they're not as good. They're not as good as having a 3-level score. It's just not. It's not as good. There's no point. And I think there's an easy fix for that. I think if you change the way player creation is done, I think in my head, maybe it's not plausible. I don't know, but if you have all of the different types of stats, right, and you group those together the way that you used to, I guess, in like 2K15 where they had the blocks and all of that, instead of having your attributes increase in the blocks. So in 2K15, when you chose, I don't know, outside scoring, you put up your mid-range, your three-pointer, your free throw, and I don't know if off-dribble shooting was in there. I guess it would have been. But yeah, you put up one block into that category, and then that stat would go, and then all of those stats will go up. You keep that idea, you keep the blocks, but you don't increase all of your stats at the same time. So you would have finishing, standstill shooting, off dribble shooting, playmaking, defense, and rebounding. And let's say maybe you put post scoring in playmaking, maybe you put that in finishing. I don't know. Maybe you split it up and put post moves in playmaking, and then you put different stuff in different places. Let's say you put post fade in off dribble shooting, and you put post hooks in regular finishing, whatever. Let's just say you do that. Let players in the player creation pick which things they want to add to their player instead of having archetypes where you're limited to one or two things. Pick as many as you want, and then every time you add something, you're adding to that player, but you're bringing the cap for those stats down. And I'll give you an example. If you have, so let's say all your stats start at 50, and speaking of which, the prerequisite for this working is that stats mean something, because if you have everybody with 50 rated stats everywhere, you can't have a 50 3-pointer and make threes. It's not gonna. You have to make stats mean something. You have to. You cannot have. Because I can tell you right now, I had a center for probably 3 years, from 2K like 15 or 16 through 19, who could shoot threes with a 56 3-pointer. I promise you he did. I promise you. And we can't have that. This idea can't work like that. You have to have a disparity between the stats, like a real disparity between the stats. But let's say they all start at 50, and let's say you add standstill shooting. Okay, so your standstill 3-pointer, mid-range, free throw, and I guess that's it, right? All of that can go up to 99, and then everything else stays at 50. So you have a shooting specialist. You have Steve Novak in 2012 or whatever year that was. You have Mike Miller. You have a shooter, and he does nothing else, right? And you can do that. That's what you do. You come in, you shoot. If somebody leaves you a little bit of space, you are knocking it down. You can't do anything else, but you will hit threes like no one else. And then let's say you want to add, let's say that's not enough for you. You want to be able to do a little more. So let's say you add defense. Let's say you want to help out defensively. Okay. Let's say you drop all the stats every time you add something, you drop the stats by 5, right? So you're now at 94. 94 3-pointer, 94 mid-range, 94 free throw, 94 interior defense, perimeter defense, block, steal, whatever. And yeah, so you play great defense and you shoot the lights out. You can't do anything else, but you are a fantastic 3-and-D player. Cool. Let's say you want to add dribbling. Okay, cool. You drop the stats by, or playmaking, excuse me. You drop the stats by 5 again. So 89. 89 three pointer is really good. 89 dribbling, really good. 89 defense, really good. You can't finish. You can't rebound. You can't shoot off the dribble. But you can play defense with the best of them. You can shoot with the best of them. And you can, dribble and pass with the best of them. Cool. I don't think that's a bad thing. And then if you add everything, and I don't think rebounding should take as much away. So let's say rebounding takes 3 away. Whatever you're at, I'm not gonna do the math right now, but whatever you're at, your stats will be around 70 something. Let's just say you change what you bring down, and let's just say if you have everything, if you have standstill shooting, off dribble shooting, playmaking, defense, rebounding, I think that's everything, finishing, whatever. I don't know if I said that, but whatever. Let's say you have everything. Let's say that all of your stats cap out at 75. I think that's fantastic. I think because in that situation you can do everything. You're not gonna be the best at anything, but you can do everything, and that allows you to be whatever you need to be in any given moment. You can dribble around somebody who can't play defense. You can shoot if somebody's not playing defense. You can finish if you get past somebody. You can play defense on somebody. Like, you can do everything that you need to do. You're a solid player in everything. Then let's say rebounding doesn't matter to you. Okay, your stats go up, let's say 3. Let's say you don't care about shooting off the dribble. Okay, your stats go up 5. So now you're at like 80. Let's say it's at 70. Let's say 3. So 78. 83? 83 everything? If you take away rebounding and off dribble shooting? Like 83 everything, that's a good player, bro. Like if you have 83, just all your stats, I think that's fantastic. I think that's a great player. And as long as stats mean something, I think that allows people to have a lot of variety. Because if stats mean something and you can shoot if you have a three-pointer and you can't shoot if you can't have a three-pointer, you have to sacrifice something. And some people don't care about having those things. Now, there's some tweaks that you may need to make, and I do think badges are a little too... I don't think badges are overpowered, but I think badges are I think players are too dependent on badges. I don't think you should be unable to make a floater without the teardropper badge. I don't think you should be unable to get a rebound without rebound chaser. Yeah, I don't think that should be a requirement. I think it should be an aid. I think it should make you better at it, but I don't think it should be required. Now, you can even tie those two things in. Like for a feature, you could say, okay, if you want your ability to play with your team, you can have that related to a stat. You can make a chemistry stat. You can make an awareness stat. So if your awareness is high, you're not going to bump into your players, like the players on your team. If your awareness is high, you don't have that issue. If your awareness is low, okay, whatever. You can make that a chemistry stat. You can make it a chemistry badge. You can do it. There's a lot you can do with that. And you can, yeah, bro, like, there's so much that you can do to eliminate a lot of these issues. Like, so much. At least in theory. I'm not a programmer. I don't make games. I don't know how difficult that is. But in my head, it's the easiest, not the easiest thing in the world, but it's simple. Because you would have that variety, it lends itself to having good team composition. Because if you now have things that certain players can and can't do, like if you want everything, you're not going to be able to do everything great. So you need to have a good basketball IQ. And if you want to do something great, you have to sacrifice something. And if you're sacrificing these things, you would have to have good team composition, because somebody's going to have to do that thing. Somebody's going to have to be able to rebound. So you're giving something up. If somebody wants to make a shooter, all right, cool, but he has to find somebody who does these things to complement him. You know what I mean? And that, it helps with the community. People aren't going to be just using the same things everywhere. Like, it really does, in my head at least, it really does help with that. And you can have, speaking of team composition, you can have, I think it would be cool to have synergy badges. Like if you have a player who has, let's say your point guard has dimer, and let's say your shooting guard has catch and shoot, and let's say they're both on Hall of Fame. Oh, before I get to that, the badges available to you should be dependent on the abilities that you've chosen. So, or let's say you want not rebound chaser. Let's say you want break starter. You'd have to have rebounding and playmaking. Let's say you want Lob City Pass, you have to have playmaking. Let's say you want catch and shoot, you have to have standstill shooting. Let's say you want, I don't know, one man fast break. Bring back one man fast break. You would have to have rebounding, dribbling, and some form of scoring. It doesn't matter which one. It doesn't have to be all of them, but just one form of it. And you can have one man fast break. Let people choose their badges and let people choose what stats they put up. I know I said like have it like 15 where you had the blocks, but you have those stats and then you can choose what you put up. If you don't care about having a 3-pointer, like you just want the mid range, okay, let them have standstill shooting. Don't put up mid range and then put something else up. And you can make that other thing. You can make that awareness. That can be how you increase your awareness stat. The stats that you don't put into abilities like shooting or defense or rebounding, whatever, that goes to your other stats. So that goes to hands, that goes to consistency, that goes to awareness, that goes to whatever, right? And yeah, I think that would be good. And then going back to the synergy thing, and let's say let's say the badges have to be on Hall of Fame. So you have your point guard has Hall of Fame dimer, your shooting guard has Hall of Fame catch and shoot. On that pass, as long as it's inside that dimer timing, that creates, let's say it's a black and white badge called Splash Bros. And then that gives you just a small additional boost. And, it gives you a reason to find certain players. It gives you a reason to make certain players. It gives you a reason to do these things. You have Lob City pass, a Lob City finisher, call it a synergy badge, make it a synergy badge called Lob City. And if that's 2 on the nose, make it Clip Show as a nod to that Clippers team. Or highlight clip, whatever. Break starter, one man fast break, call it touchdown. Pick and roll maestro, and then pick and roller or pick and popper. You can do something with that. There's a bunch of options. You gotta make a defensive pick and roll badge, switches and something. I don't know, whatever. But you can do a lot with that, and it would lend itself to those things. And also, quick thing, I'm not making demands, but I think it'd be cool if you made if they had a series mode for my players, because I know my friends do this a lot, and I think I've seen other people do this in the park. You have people running a 7-game series in the park. It gets really tough because other people get in the park and then it takes forever to do. And you can still have it go to 21 and then just let people choose if you want to have it be 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5. Make it still games to 21, and then you can run a 7-game series. And then you can make adjustments between the game while it's loading, who's guarding who, things like that. Whoever the team captain is, you can set the team captain and then they set matchups or whatever. I think that would be good. And also, please, 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 please separate park events from the park. But yeah, I didn't want this really to be like a negative thing, although it is. 2K is really, I don't want to say y'all have dropped the ball, but y'all have really been, it's been so disappointing over the years, because there have been so many times where you look for something and you just don't see it, and it's really a letdown. So obviously it's not going to happen in 2K21, maybe 2K22, maybe, hopefully, we'll see. Share the video if you can. We'll see what happens. But thanks for watching. Yeah, I'll see y'all when I see y'all.